So basically our purpose is, hey, I'll hook in here if I can do it with one or two. Normally the jams aren't that deep, so I'm not making excuses, but hey, even here we set it up so we got it to work. So we came in there with two. Once it bites, the main purpose of this is I gotta have a little bit of daylight for this technique to work, because what I'm doing is I'm putting that wedge in, and because of the shape and whatnot, it's as we drive it in, it's gonna start to go in and around the back, and then that's gonna actually start pushing the door for us, if that makes sense, yeah. Right? So, yeah. So you can see within two little taps, see how it went in and it's driving, it's going around already, yeah. Right? So now you can see the pressure it's already putting on down here, and it's flexing the whole door. We went from barely being able to get the thing in there to, you know, there's an inch up there now of separation. You can see the pressure, you can hear the wood already cranking down there on that piece of 1x2. So.
The corner, right?
So that 1x2 is cracking without me even going through a snap. Right. You can hear it.
So the question would be that 2x2. We'll try it.
Or is it 2x2 or?
It's a 1x2 right now, but it's run horizontally like this. So
cross grain, so it's super strong.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm well versed in it all, my friend.
I know.
No, I know. I'm just playing. So, but if you even hear it, you can hear it crackling like there's so much pressure on that. So you hear it. Right? Every now and again you hear it releasing, right? Because of the pressure, right? The wood. So I might be able to pop it just by doing this. If not, the beauty about it is I've got a couple options. I can obviously hook here with my fulcrum and just snap in, right? My other option is I can come up here and do a full gap with both teeth, right? My other option is I could come and do a progressive gap. So I can work that door north to south with multiple options. I can always go back to just smashing it out, sledging with it. Right? When in doubt, smash it out, right? That's our motto, right? You know, literally come up here and smash the locks. Or I can get further in here and basically do another version of a progressive gap. Because once I expose the back of that jam, especially a steel jam, I can do the same steps of a snap, you know, hooking in a snap, two teeth gap, or one tooth gap progressive. So basically, everything just works off almost the same system, and just, for us, it's how fast I can identify it and then switch gears, if that makes sense. Yep. You know, like I'm sure the fire roll's the same way for force entry. For the breacher, if you're really a breacher, it really has nothing to do with size, smash. It has to do with problem solving and how fast I can identify and move on to the next problem.
RPDM.
Right. So we're gonna drive this in a little bit. Right there, you can hear it going. Right? So from here, we can hook and snap. Or from here, we can just go ahead and just do the downward gap like such and hold. And in one hand, we pop the cross gain. Now, the cool thing about this is where a lot of injuries occur, because it's still hung up or it's caught, right? Or there's a door closer, say on a hotel up high, right? So that's where, believe it or not, a lot of people get stymied in a hotel door is that stupid door closer, right? Especially on a masonite door, because they'll try to smash it or whatever, and what happens is the door deforms or peels or punches holes through it, and they're not getting any pressure on that BS door closer or that fork. All we do is we come up here because of the teeth, and we'll come in here and we'll either snap into the door, or we'll come up here deep and we just gap down and finish it off. Rips it right out. Or we usually snap the soft white metal forks.
Yeah.
They usually crack like candy. And then you'll see right here, so the cool thing about your prop is, you know, right? Cross grain, which is obviously much stronger than, you know, the other way where it's, this way it's gonna snap. Right. Here you gotta make it yield. And you can see you pulled it all apart, right?
Yeah. How wide are the tines altogether?
So this total is 4. Each one is 1 inch. Okay. So when I do my 15-to-1, basically like a Halligan, right, adds, it's no longer that 1.5 adds, or, you know, they got the Maximus, all these different versions of Halligans now. It's actually a greater mechanical advantage when I use 1, because when I use 1, I'm actually just using 1 inch.
30 to 1 inch.
Right, so it's actually got a greater mechanical advantage than the adds.
And even when you go to basically 30 to 4, so you're still getting about 7 to 1.
Right, and so our thing is we attack before we gap. So when we're teaching patrol or beginners or whatnot, or even, you know, fire or whatnot, because you could strike with this and not, you know, hurt yourself, right? Are we clear back here? A piece of 1x2, what do we put back there?
2x2. Yeah,
2x2. All right, perfect, yeah. So what we would do here is we would come up and we would strike our locking mechanism or close to the locking mechanism to basically attack before we gap, right? So I'm gonna come up here. I'm here like such, right? So you can see right off the bat, we added slop that wasn't there just by 3 strikes, right? Just 3 strikes, we added slop. That's a heavy hit. That's solid steel, trailer hitch, right? Well, you try that with a lot of other tools, you know, rings your bell. Obviously it doesn't, right? So now from here, the advantage that we have, which is nice, is I can go here to my snap and walk out. So that's a full 2x2 right there, and it got hung up. And now I can go deep behind it for another version of the gap that I was telling you about, whether it's a snap, both teeth, or progressive, depending on my skill set, my height. Am I on a step? Am I, you know, a lot of times in the city vestibule, you know, at least on the East Coast, a lot of your work is like this because there's no landing, you know, on the East Coast. A lot of times you're on a step, like in urban areas. Single step. It's crazy. You would think it'd be illegal, but a lot of them aren't. You're on a step. So it changes a lot of your ability because you're at a height disadvantage also, if that makes sense. Yeah. So some of the other things on your follow-ups are, when I go to finish it off and I am on a step, I put the teeth up and there's my height differential. So down here, the teeth are down. I'm hitting 6 inches low. Here, I rotate it up and I'm hitting 6 inches high. So right off the bat, I make up 6 inches by doing nothing. I don't blow my back out of my shoulder. This one's hung up with a full piece of 2x2. We come in here, we come back, right? We can finish it off with a snap, right? And then we can come down with a gap, or we can go deeper to the doorknob, which is another fulcrum, right? So they're all different mechanical advantages, right? Then I can go back up here, right? Ram it, shock it, shoulder it. But in the end, there's your full 2x2 talking to you. Most of it was done one-handed, or, you know, it wasn't like you were going crazy, right? And again, not taking away from your prop. Your prop's awesome. It's a phenomenal prop. But the door is super, super heavy, so that robs a lot of our kinetic energy on our strikes and so forth, right? And so does the trailer hitch and the solid steel. Most of our stuff, not excuse-wise, but most of our stuff, when we're running on a real door, the reason why we're teaching you to hit the doorknobs and the doors is that's the weakest part. They're soft white metal, they're cheap screws, there's a lot of plastic and tin inside those locks nowadays. Unless they're custom like government spec locks for high security, most of the time when we smash them with the backside of that claw, it does crazy damage to where you can finish it off with an easy gap or a snap.